If you look at the latest T-bill rates, you're gonna get shocked. I did this research because I was preparing something for a private client and realized that the latest 6 months T-bill has dropped to 1.79% only. Wow, at 1.79% and 6 months, you're not gonna make too much money, right? Even if you deposit like 10,000 or 100,000. And if you see this chart over here, is there a possibility that T-bills will start to fall all the way back closer to the 0.3, 0.4%, just like what we saw after COVID? Maybe that's a stretch, but if it does, even $1 million will only yield $1,750 worth of gains if rates do fall that far. So let's look around for today's episode to find out what are better options that you can park your monies with, and I have 10 ideas for you. Hi guys, welcome back. I'll actually go in this order whereby I'll prioritize for smaller amounts first and I'll keep the one where it's for big amounts right at the very end. Again, I'll leave chapters right at the very bottom for you to follow for one that is particularly suited for you. So let's start with the first one for today, which is actually this promotion idea by Longbridge. And when I did my research, I realized they have this interest boost of 6% that applies for $2,000. Some of you watching might be at an early stage of career and looking to park smaller amounts, so this could really work. Simply deposit $2,000 when you start your account, and I have referral links below just in case you want to follow on. And automatically you'd see for my own account that I've also been credited this interest boost coupon already. If you do trade, you still get free shares, but at the very least, you can qualify for this and it's worth almost $30. So if you're new to Longbridge again, check for links below to sign up today. The second idea is something that you can access very readily because it's likely that you have a DBS or POSB account online, and it's actually their online fixed D rate. If you look at this list over here, up to 12 months for amounts less than 20,000, you can get 2.45%, almost CPF OA rate, correct? And in today's dropping interest environment, this is godsend. Only problem again is it is capped below 20,000, and in my opinion, this rate is going to be changed very soon. Let's move on to the third idea for today, which is actually by Chocolate Finance. Chocolate Finance has been running advertisements and they've recently made some adjustments to their withdrawal rules. Nonetheless, withdrawals are still fine. I still do have small amounts in Chocolate Finance, and as you can see over here, if you are depositing first 20,000, Chocolate Finance will guarantee you 3% rate of return. This 3% again is not SDIC guaranteed, it's guaranteed by them. And if you're slightly bigger amounts, it's 2.7% on the next 30,000. So your first 50k can potentially be parked here, and I think it's a pretty good option. When I was doing this research, my eyes gravitated to the right hand side, the US dollar one at 4.3%. You know, on this channel, I've always suggested Forex, don't go speculate on it. But today, I'll make a small U-turn because when I see what has happened to US dollar in the recent 1 year, it is now fallen to 1.28%. 1 year ago, everybody was rushing by US dollar fixed income assets and stuff, and they suffered from Forex losses. But in today's world, the starting point 1.28, although I'm not sure where US dollar is going for the next 6 months, my hunch that it's a pretty good risk-reward ratio. So for myself, I did something fun, not investment advice. As you can see, I converted my Sing dollar balance to US dollar just to demonstrate to you how it actually works and also see for myself the entire process. I'm willing again to take that Forex risk since it's such a small amount for that 4.3%. What we can see also is Chocolate FX has a charge there of 74 cents in this instance. And in my opinion, when we convert back to Sing dollars, there's going to be another small charge. So very likely we need to hold there not just for a few days, but probably for a few months. Nonetheless, it's a small amount, so I'm happy to kind of speculate on it. Let me know in the comment sections what you think. And if you're also keen to sign up for Chocolate Finance, I'll also leave links below for you to follow on. Up next, we go into the world of fixed deposits. And a quick summary table would show that almost all banks right now are at the 1 to 2+% range, correct? Only DBS right at the very top is still at 2.45%. That's why I said very likely they're going to change that. Because as you can see, Bank of China, Citibank, UOB, OCBC all have rates that are less than 2% already. But I found something interesting, and this is actually by Bank of India. As of this time of filming, Bank of India is still offering for 12-month fixed deposit 2.25%. You can even park in up to $1 million. Mean again is 50,000. So if it fits your situation, this could be a place. At the bottom, you can also see they also have something interesting for US dollar deposits. up to $1 million is at 4.25%. But take note again, when we do fixed deposits through a bank, there is going to be an FX spread. So they can give you a very good yield, but their FX charges may be embedded inside to equalize things. So don't go just for the interest rate, also check whether your FX charges are competitive or not. Number 6 on today's list is something that we've covered before on the channel, and you have probably also heard of it. It is the best high-yield savings account, and it's none other than UOB One account. UOB One account has cut rates for 2 times already in recent 1 year, and the latest rates they are offering, if you credit salary or so and do card spend, is at 3.3% if you park a total of 150,000 inside. If you have 75,000 and less, the interest return is only 2.3%. So if these hurdles of card spend and salary crediting, maybe some of the previous ideas I've covered before for smaller amounts might make more sense. Number 7 on today's list is going to close very soon as of this time of filming. Hopefully you've watched this before the 28th of July, because I'm going to change my stance and suggest that this Singapore savings bonds could be still useful to some people. Why so? If we see the 10-year yield rates, you realize that it's falling yet again, correct? Which means the issue for September is going to be even lower. Therefore, 1.82% for 1 year, which already beats T-bills, is not too bad relatively. And if you can hold it past 7 years, the interest earned starts to get more than 2.5%. The average for 10-year Singapore savings bonds for this issue will be at 2.29%. And as always, Singapore savings bonds are liquid. You sell it, $2 service charge, you can get it back next month already. And again, there's no penalty, no lock-in period. All this while you're guaranteed a 10-year rate. We really don't know what rates will be next year. It could be even way lower. Just like how I started this video with. So suddenly 2.29 seems godsend. Take note again, closing time is 9 PM, 28th of July. To buy Singapore savings bonds, you need a CDB account and you need an internet banking to make that ballot. Number 8 on today's list is something that I've been recommending private clients a lot recently, because many of them are in their 40s and 50s. They've maxed out their Singapore savings bonds already, and they are nearing the magical age of 55. And as we understand the rules, at 55, if you have full retirement sum, whatever that is remaining in your OA is actually liquid. Therefore, a good idea right now is to actually use this voluntary housing refund, VHR, to pump monies back into your CPF OA. Voluntary housing refund is only when you have used some of your CPF OA to make mortgage payments. Then there's principal used and accrued interest, correct? So voluntary housing refund is to pump monies, cash, back into your CPF OA. And the idea is to earn that 2.5% right now. If you're very near the age of 55 or even above already, you realize that pumping monies back to CPF OA is even better than fixed deposits. The guarantee is by government. And that also applies for number 9 on today's list, which is also relating to CPF. And that is none other than pumping monies back into your special account. This isn't really for managing cash already. This is more for getting 4% compounding with spare monies that you have. They are willing to look long term. And I think this best fits, especially if you're a high income earner in your 30s. I've seen through many cases, those 40s and above, usually full retirement sum is met already in special account, which is the first rule. You can't pump monies if you have full retirement sum in your SA. And I've also highlighted, you get 4%, and in addition, if you pump monies to a special account, you get 8,000 worth of tax relief. So the season of pumping monies back to special account is coming again. And again, if you're in your 30s, I think it's something for you to consider. Now, we've ran through 9 ideas so far. The first is actually the 6% interest boost in Longbridge. The second is DBS online fixed deposit. The third is Chocolate Finance Sing Dollar. The fourth is Chocolate Finance US Dollar. Take note again on Forex risk. The fifth is on Bank of India's fixed deposit. Can be $50,000 to $1 million. The sixth is UOB One account. If you have 150,000, it's 3.3% with the hurdles crossed. The seventh is Singapore savings bonds. Take note, it closes 28 July, 9 PM. The eighth is voluntary housing refund to use CPF OA to generate 2.5% interest rate. The ninth is top up special account, and only if you have less than full retirement sum as of right now. All these can be done by anyone, but this number 10 one requires you to be an accredited investor. Simple reason is because we are going into the space of bonds. And I found something that I particularly like. By the way, bonds means that you have loaned monies to a company. The guarantee of your principal is by that company. So who you lend monies to becomes very important, correct? If you see a coupon rate of 3%, that means very likely that company is blue chip, like Capital Land. If you see 5-6%, very likely that company is a smaller company with a bit more debt on their books. That also means that they have a bigger default risk. If all that's clear, let me share with you what I found, which is actually by iRead Global. They have actually this 6% new issue that will mature on 22nd May 2028. This summary table is done by iFast and is part of their recommended list. But as always, speak to a qualified advisor to understand the risk of a bond. Quite obviously, the main thing to take note is iRead Global has quite a bit of debt maturing in 2026. Quite obviously, this is the biggest risk. At current yield is about 5.4 to 5.5% and it's just for a 3-year period. So for some investors with a 3-year horizon, this could be a place to invest in. And as always, if you're keen, look for my links below. And thank you very much for watching right to the very end. Inviting you again to this previous episode on saving money up. I think it might be something of interest to you, and I'll